rise for the Pledge of Allegiance and stay standing for the invocation.
Bow our heads. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Oh Lord, I'm here to ask you to guide our mayor and our mayor pro tem and our council members and our treasurer and the clerk and all the people involved that are doing the things that prosper this city. And all the first responders, and they do a good job that people don't realize what they're doing out there. They had an incident last week on SOUTHFIELD that everything went good, and they handled it real well, I think. And they need to be thanks over that. And I thank you for the police department, what they do, and the rest of the fire department, and all the workers here, and all of our military that served and still serving for us to give us the freedom that we need, that the city keeps carrying on like they are and getting better and better. And we thank you in Jesus' name. Amen.
Thank you, Robert. If the clerk will take the roll call, please.
Councilman McLeod.
Here.
Councilman Schlatt.
Present.
Councilman Valerius.
Here.
Councilwoman Syke is asked to be excused. Councilman Lloyd.
Here.
Pro Tem Lally.
Here.
And Mayor McLeod.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. May I have a motion to correct or approve the agenda for tonight's meeting?
Motion, Mayor.
Motion by Mr. Schlack, second by Mr. Valerius. Any corrections or changes? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. May I have a motion to approve the minutes for our meeting of October 12th?
Motion, Mayor.
Motion by Mr. Lally,
Second.
second by Mr. Lloyd. Any corrections? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. First order of business tonight is a presentation by the Beautification Commission of Beautification Awards. Might comment that we just got this commission up and running this year, and they are off to a flying start. I think our decorations out in front of City Hall can be attributed to them, and so we are very grateful. So if they would like to come forward. I think, are your commission members in attendance?
Yes, I'll be introducing them in just a few moments, with your permission, Madam Mayor. Well, I'm so happy to be here, and good evening. Madam Mayor and City Council, staff. Your Beautification Commission appreciates your invitation to join you this evening, and as we present a few short reports of the Commission's activities these past few months. Since early this summer, the Beautification Commission has participated in our street fair with our very first booth and activity, informing hundreds of citizens who visited our booth, not only of our presence, but encouraging all our visitors to help eliminate litter, especially that litter that's on our city streets and sidewalks. Along with the citizens volunteers, we continue with monthly litter and trash cleanup projects along some of our major streets. And tonight, we wrap up our Nominate Your Neighbor project. Now, this project asks city residents to recognize a neighbor who made an exceptional effort to beautify their home's front property, well, with groomed shrubbery and floral arrangements, and perhaps other decorations that were eye-appealing, all showing the spirit of family pride in their neighborhood. We are sure these homeowners who provided a pleasant view for their neighbors and for passerbys also. Now, maybe even these beautifications that were performed were inspiring to other citizens to maintain their yards with what might be described as, well, just food for their eyes. Now, may I invite the homeowners who are selected and who are present to join me, homeowners? Please come on up here and join me on both sides. Yeah. Both sides, would you please? Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, just over here. Just come over here, please. How about this, right over here? Would that be okay? Boy, we're so happy to have you in our attendance tonight, and I would also like to have our beautification commissioners, Kathy Collier, Maureen Stoddard, and our project lead, Lyle Walagora, join me up here also. And we wish to thank our mayor and council and the staff for our commissions and our commission's liaison, Councilman Matt Valerius, who have all provided us with guidance and support these past few months. And I thank you, and thank you very much. At this time, Kyle Walagoria will present each homeowner with the Allen Park Beautification Commission's Certificate of Recognition.
Okay, so if you hear your address, just raise your hand. 15196 Euclid. 15210 Russell. Congratulations, thank you. 7646 Renona.
These certificates of recognition are for these homeowners that have presented a beautiful addition to their neighborhoods and then for keeping their Allen Park property in a clean, beautiful manner. Now, in addition, I'm going to invite Commissioners Kathy Collier and Maureen Stoddard to step up if they may. And we will present each homeowner with a lawn sign to display in their yard as an inspiration to all citizens who admire the effort of beautification. You may pass those out.
11170 Caldwell. 9006 Carter. 9631 Caldwell. 988 Reek. Is that everyone else?
8262.
There it is. Mine.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Congratulations, everyone. Thank you very much.
Now, hang on just a moment, please, if you don't mind, and Mayor, Council, and others. Let me close in saying to our honored homeowners, I am in admiration of the time and talent that you've all displayed on your property, and in keeping with Allen Park being clean and green and a beautiful place to live, work, play, and stay. And thank you very much, Mayor.
Thank you. Thank you all very much.
If you'd like, we can step aside and get a photo up. Yeah. Oh, let's come together. How about that? Come on in. You know how you do it when you're having a picture on the porch at home? Everybody kind of like turn halfway sideways toward the center. Yeah, come on. We're all neighbors, aren't we? Come on a little closer. Yeah, come on. Yeah, come on.
Look like you like each other.
Just my head.
Thank you very much. Thank you. If you'd like to step outside and get a photo up, we'd like to have you take a picture of you and your sign. Would that be okay? Yeah, please.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
will move on to the next order of business. It is my pleasure this evening to read a proclamation related to the National Native American Heritage Month. Whereas the history and culture of our great nation have been significantly influenced by Native Americans and indigenous peoples, and whereas the contributions of Native Americans have enhanced the freedom, prosperity, and greatness of Americans today, and whereas our customs and traditions are respected and celebrated as part of a rich legacy throughout the United States, and whereas Native American Awareness Week began in 1976, and recognition was expanded by Congress and approved by President George Bush in August 1990, designating the month of November as National Native American Heritage Month. And whereas, in honor of National Native American Heritage Month, community celebrations, as well as numerous cultural, artistic, educational, and historical activities have been planned. Now, therefore, I, Gail B. McLeod, by virtue of the authority vested in me as mayor of the city of Allen Park, Michigan, do hereby proclaim November 2021 as National Native American Heritage Month in the city of Allen Park, and urge all citizens to observe this month with appropriate programs, ceremonies, and activities. In witness whereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the city of Allen Park, Michigan, be affixed this 26th day of October 2021. And I encourage all of you to explore the history of our country, and in particular, the natives of this country. Thank you.
Mayor, Council, quick update on some projects going on here in the city, and I had an opportunity here. I've already had my greetings with Councilman Schlack. We had cordial conversation when we first met this evening on his tie and my tie, and hoping for a great football game this weekend. So, real quick, we're still waiting to hear on the final word of the opening of the bridge over the Moran Avenue Bridge over the Sexton Kilfoyle Creek. Should be sometime in mid-November. It looks like they look like they're on pace to get concrete poured and be ready to open on time. So as soon as we have that date, we'll get that posted. For the street millage, improvement millage program, and 4 Avenue was the last of that project. GV Cement has closed the intersection of Hanford and Lawrence to finish up the last portions of concrete that need to be poured there, and then they're also starting the restoration on that project. They have also started the concrete replacement and restoration of the Shenandoah water main project. This is the project that is over by Rogers Elementary School. We had a little bit of an issue in starting that project around the same time school had started, but we were able to work around that and working with the neighbors to make sure that all the restoration gets done, and they should be all set here shortly. Savone Cement, you'll see them working around the city in various areas. They're working on the utility repairs, which are usually from water main breaks or sewer repairs. They're wrapping up that portion of the project. They're pretty much done with the street sectioning project for this year. We're kind of getting into a time frame that I think myself, Tom, get a little nervous as pouring concrete this late in the season, and so we'll get those projects ready for 2022, for the spring of 2022. Al's Asphalt was at Park Street today. This is Park Street over by Millward Park, Crescent, Pleasant, Pleasure, Rose, and they are doing an asphalt paving project there. They'll be there about 2 weeks, and then they're also going to be paving Millward Park, which was approved by City Council in that time frame. So about 2 weeks, that should be all set and finished. I do think at that point, Mario will probably be back to do some tie-ins with the sewers, where they'll put collars around the sewers, concrete collars around the sewers, and that'll probably be the end of that project, and be highly needed, as that is one of the last roads that gets a lot of traffic that hasn't been paved. Then we'll be back, it looks like in 2022 for Arnold, and that'll be from Beatrice up to, I'm gonna get it wrong, I don't think it goes up to College. But this will be along the railroad track on the north end, north of Southfield. So we'll get that taken care of in 2022. Holbrook's Roofing started the library replacement this morning, so they're making some progress over there. Should be about a week or so. I would imagine they'll be done with that project on their way out. And at that point, I believe we'll probably see Greg and his team coming in to do the survey of the roofs. And I think that is in timely fashion. We had an issue here with a small leak, and we had to have the company come back. It was not under warranty. I think Greg's group would have probably caught it and maybe had saved us from any minor damage we did have. But I think that program is going to be worthwhile because in order to keep those maintain those warranties, you have to have some sort of maintenance program in place. So I think this was a really good move on that with Greg, and then again, starting with these roofs at the library and getting that one done and getting that on that same program as well. And speaking of the library, they have purchased a awning and wind tarp or wind shield to help lock out the rain that is affecting the drop box. This has been a problem going on for a number of years. What happens is the west facing the building, water gets into the drop box and the books sitting there and they were getting damaged. So I always notice we're paying out a lot of $12, $15, $18 to other libraries, and I wonder why. This is it. So we'll be able to have this. It'll actually be able to be where you can walk underneath it, be sheltered yourself as you're putting the books in as well. It is one of those that we're going to have to really look at when we look at the overall outside of the building and how we address all the issues with the HVAC system. But this is something else I think we're going to need to take into consideration as well for a permanent. This is a semi-permanent, but I think something maybe a permanent overhang or something like that. That's all part of the structure. Just also a quick up, and this is what that'll look like. I apologize, I do have a picture of that. So just a real simple awning that'll be out there. I think it's to help kind of see these at a bank or something like that with an ATM. Just something to give it a little bit of cover for the people while you're dropping your books off and save the books that are being dropped off. And then the chief asked if I would also mention, we do have a police auction coming up on Saturday, November 6th at 10 o'clock. That'll be held at the new DPS facility where the impound lot is now located. We're trying to Saturday to see how it does if it'll draw more people or anything different on that aspect. But we also have a bit of a problem is we usually do these during the week and all the parking at the DPS is usually occupied. So there would be no place to park. So this will really free up a lot of the space to do this on a Saturday and allow the people to get in and out and the staff to kind of be focused on that and not deal with a lot of other issues. 10 o'clock that starts, 10 o'clock. Saturday, November 6th at 10 o'clock. Yep. And then just a real quick, I did an update on the Cdbg and the chairperson asked if I'd just give a quick update as there are some members that were here possibly looking for an update. We did submit a proposal out to, or an RFP out to about a half dozen Allen Park plumbers that would, and local plumbers as well, for the repair of the sanitary sewer line at the historical house. This line has collapsed. We've had it cambered through the DPS. They can only get out about 19 feet, and that's where they run into soil, and that's evident of a collapse. That is due back November 1st. That project is being funded through the capital improvements fund. The council had set aside money for that, so this is not going into any of their reserve funds or anything like that. This will be paid for by the city, as it's a city facility. And then a quick update on what I was first started to mention in the back area with the update. We had received communication from Wayne County that we were granted $104,000 towards improvements at the historical museum house. Those initially would have hoped to have funded stripping of the paint from the exterior of the house or the museum, sealing those bricks as well, stripping the paint off of the wood trim, painting that wood trim, doing some possible removal of the porch on the exterior and rebuilding that. Inside there is some lead-based paint, so it would be painting the entire interior of the house, all three floors, main floor, second floor, basement, with a special encapsulating paint, which is what they use for lead-based paint, so you don't have any potential for chips. and so forth. There was also, when we did the study to find out if there was any lead-based paint, we found asbestos in 3 different areas, so it would take care of those issues as well. As we were starting to put everything together, realization come that $104,000, while it is a lot of money, when you're dealing with prevailing wages and the increased costs that we're seeing in materials at this time, and delays on certain items to be here, $104,000 is not going to probably cover, but the sandblasting of the brick, sealing of the brick, the painting, and all the exterior work, and the asbestos work, not likely to touch any of the interior painting or the porch reconstruction, demolition or reconstruction at all. Last Wednesday, I got a call from Wayne County. They're having some trouble with other projects, so they're now looking at getting, asking communities to get better bids, and they are then going to go back to Wayne County Commission, and ask for additional funding. So a possibility that we may get additional funding for this project. With that, though, we've talked to a local contractor. He is in the process now of getting some better numbers for me, so I can give those to Wayne County. We can move from that point. If this money is granted, though, ideally they want to have all those items covered. So we'll be looking at all the exterior items, removal of that porch, rebuilding both porches, and some concrete work on the steps and so forth. To be able to do the inside, though, all the material inside the house is going to have to be removed. This is going to be, it's not much of a question of, well, can we leave this, can we leave that? All of it needs to come out. When I talked to the gentleman about painting, that was his first biggest concern. As you take into consideration that you have to work around items, that cost keeps going up higher and higher and so forth. So we'll need to be thinking about how we are going to remove those items and so forth for storage and to that aspect. But the other part of it is the timing is going to be critical. When Wayne County gives us the go-ahead, we're not going to have a whole lot of time to wait and decide whether we want to move this out or take this out. We need to be acting very quickly. Or the opportunity for the interior work is going to go by the wayside. I hate to see that happen, but so I kind of stressing now to mayor and council, to the commission. I know the chairwoman, Nancy Nick, had heard me earlier, stressing that this has to happen, or we're going to miss the opportunity for these funds. So I think we need to have a game plan together of how that is going to happen, and clearing that the interior of the house out, and possibly separating those items as to what's historical to Allen Park, what's historical to the time frame, and so forth, and making a determination how we want to proceed. So not looking for that right now. I'm just trying to give an update to make sure everybody's on the same page of where we're at. So good news that Wayne County potentially has some more money for us, but it comes with a laundry list of things that we're going to need to do on our end.
How much was it?
The initial grant was for $104,000. Yeah.
May I have a motion to accept and file the administrator's report?
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Blevins, second by Mr. Valerius. Any comments or questions? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Now we come to the public comment section of tonight's agenda, and anyone wishing to come forward and speak on agenda items, please do so. Just remember that you are limited to 4 minutes. We do want to have your name and your street. We do not want to have your address. With that, I will open the public comment section.
Did I hear you say it's about agenda items or other items? Okay. Yes, Dennis Hayes, Quant Avenue. With the permission of the chair, I'd like to hand these photographs. There's one for every member here. Hopefully they can use it. Thank you, sir. About 6 or 7 years ago, I raised the issue of this property that I'm passing around a picture of the front of a house on Paris Street. About 3 years ago or 4 years ago, the homeowner approached this council or previous council, whatever, And he was assured that it would be handled in the following year. Now, here we are, 6 years later, and this project has not been dealt with as yet. It looks to me rather serious. It's really not the entire street, it's really kind of localized in front of my friend's property. This is a homeowner who's lived there for over 50 years. He doesn't ask much for his first city. He doesn't complain much. He has filed complaints. I mean, he called in and asked, and he was reassured that everything would be taken care of, and it never was. And I think, I was talking to him this morning, we have breakfast together regularly, and he was saying, you know, what's the use of talking to the city? They never do anything. They'll tell you something, and they just ignore you. And so it came to me, having been sitting in your chair in the past, that oftentimes I felt sometimes like we were unsuccessful and able to fix things for our constituents. And I'm giving you the opportunity. I hope you all take that picture back. It's a picture of the front of his house. Put it in front of your desk and call Mr. Kibbe or the roads department or whoever it is and say, why don't we take care of that? Let's get this oil on this squeak, okay? Because we shouldn't have to do this year after year after year. And I happened to be here, happened to see him the other day, so I took it upon myself to do a little legwork for you. You have a picture of it. I have the address on the picture. Please look into it, see what we can do for this 50-year resident who's paid his taxes all these years, hasn't asked for a lot, but he would like to have his peace and quiet as he's older than I am. I'm getting old, but we're all getting old. But let's live out our last days in some kind of quiet enjoyment in our own property. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Mark Kibbe. Timing is critical. The Allen Park Elks will be hosting our 33rd annual Pumpkin Patch festivities for special needs individuals. They will be arriving at 6 o'clock, staying in the lodge and outside the lodge till 9. But for your enjoyment, we've expanded the outside program from 1 o'clock till 9 o'clock. Come hungry. Come with your ears open for the entertainment. I want to thank everybody who's helped me in the past 33 years since 1989 with this. And I thank you for the floats. And we need help. Timing is critical. We'll have these special needs. Please come down and welcome them to our fine city. And timing is critical. So I have pumpkins to prep. And I hope I see everybody there. I'll go set the stage and get it ready for our function. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Good night.
There's no one else coming forward. We'll close the public comment section and move on to the consent agenda. Tonight's consent agenda consists of purchasing actions, claims, and accounts and payroll report, and licenses and permits, a parade permit for the Allen Park Parks and Recreation Department lighted Christmas parade on November 19, which starts at 5:30. May I have a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Lally,
Second.
second by Mr. Schlack. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Mr. Bailey has come back for a return engagement.
Yes, it's due to what happened in 1998. I forgot one item. If you could reach out to WCSX.com 94.7 and invite them to our city to enjoy the show.
We'll now move on to resolutions. Our first resolution is to approve the Wayne County Annual Pavement Restoration Permit, which authorizes the municipality to occupy Wayne County road rights-of-way for the purpose of pavement repair and restoration, and authorize Tom Murray to sign. May I have a motion?
Motion, Mayor.
Motion by Mr. Lloyd, second by Mr. Lally. Any questions, comments? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is carried. Second resolution is to approve the Wayne County Annual Permit for Special Events, which grants preliminary authorization to the municipality to temporarily close a county road for a reasonable length of time for a parade, marathon, festival, or similar activity. To use a county road as a detour for traffic around such activity taking place on a non-county road, and place a temporary banner within the county right-of-way and authorize Tom Murray to sign. All in favor? May I have a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Valerius.
Support.
Supported by Mr. Blevins. Questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Excuse me a moment. Rainy weather and sinuses. Resolution to waive the city bid process as there is no economic benefit to bid since the city is utilizing My Deal state bid program, and purchase a 2021 Spartan Leaf Pro Plus in the amount of $96,718,000 for the DPS with funds from account number 401-000-985-003. May I have a motion?
Motion, Mayor.
Motion by Mr. Lloyd. Second by Mr. Valerius. Questions or comments? Get a brief explanation.
Good evening. This is really like a large vacuum. It will help supplement our sweepers for picking up the large piles of leaves we usually get at this time of year going in through November. The sweepers that are made out there typically are not really made to pick up heavy bulk leaves, but most communities you'll notice use them and go through them. This is to hopefully help offset the repair bills and how expensive a sweeper runs. To give you any equivalence, a sweeper runs about $230,000 right now. And we will be purchasing, hopefully with your approval, next budget year, a sweeper. It's in the capital improvement. I was looking at this to stop doing the same old, because we do it that way. I'm trying to help get our equipment to last longer, clean maybe hopefully a little better, and that's really what the gist of this piece of equipment is. I did, by the way, call 7 different communities that just purchased this equipment in the last 4 years today, and every one of them had nothing but raving reviews for this type of equipment.
Just to be clear, like we discussed in our work session, this is not an excuse to put your leaves into the street. This is just to kind of what's already there.
Correct.
There is a city ordinance against doing so, and that very much hinders the process of cleaning.
Correct, it does. I guess for everybody who's watching this and for you guys, putting all the leaves you have at your house in the street, we don't have the amount of employees, even if we had the equipment, to get to it in a timely manner. Them leaves would probably still be there next year when you have snow thawing out, or it'll be actually back on your lawn when we have to plow it. That has happened a couple times. Some communities do that option, and they have many more employees, and some communities that do that option do not have the amount of workload we have. Some do not take care of the trees, where we have to take care of the tree work. We have to take care of a lot of different things in the city that some communities may or may not have to do. So I would agree we should not do that. We will go around them even with this piece of equipment and not suck them up.
I would imagine too that with 95 miles of road in the city and only one piece of equipment, it would be a Herculean task.
Correct. We will still use sweepers, as you see, but I'm hoping to offset it with using the sweepers for the lighter stuff behind this piece of equipment that picks up the bulk of the leaves. So that way it's not so much wear and tear on our sweepers.
Through the mayor, just to go along again with that, because people think maybe just because we got a new machine, they mean that you can put the leaves on the street like Councilman Dan said. No, you still have to clean your own
Correct.
property. And then, if you got leftover some in the street, I'm sure you guys will pick that up.
Right. You can tell who's doing what by the piles.
Don't do it on purpose.
Another word of note is for financial responsibility is we pay our contractor to pick up your bags of leaves and compost. Why would we pay our contractor to do such if we're just going to allow you to put it all in the street? To me, that sounds like a waste of money.
just we should advertise that, the citizens know that, because you know you're gonna get complaints, oh, you got a new machine, how come you don't come and pick my leaves up? You know, that's gotta be advertised to the community, that way they have something, say, hey, he's right, we gotta clean our own mess. And then if we leave some, yeah, that's okay, the machine will pick it up, but they will do that.
Yes.
But we do have an ordinance that says you are
We do.
not to put leaves or grass clippings, and that is,
And in the
that's another
past-
thing that came up for
Yep,
discussion.
and in the past, there has been tickets, warnings, and fines. In the past, I do know of.
Yeah. And
Been
that's
issued.
not changing.
No,
Thank you, Tom.
thank you.
Thank you.
Any other comments? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And since we are purchasing, it is now necessary to add one more item to tonight's agenda. In approving the purchase, we must now have a resolution to approve a budget amendment that requires approval of movement of monies from one account into another. I might just ask our finance director to come up and briefly explain what we're doing.
Good evening. So the state of Michigan requires you to have an approved budget, and this is not a budgeted purchase. This was something that had previously been in the capital plan that was taken out after the price got too high. So this money will come from the rubbish fund, but as a capital purchase, it'll come out of the capital outlay accounts. So it is moving the money from rubbish into capital outlay for purchase.
Does anyone have any questions?
Through the chair,
Yes, sir.
when I'm, for finance director works, is this for this budget, fiscal year 2020? Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Is there any specific wording you would like me to use?
I'll read what I've already written.
Okay.
And see if it's okay with the attorney and the finance director. It's very simple. Resolve to amend the fiscal year 2021 budget for the purchase of a Spartan Pro Plus. And then the budget amendment will go as follows, and then I'll include all the accounts, the transfer in, the transfer out in the minute.
Fiscal year 2022.
Or 20, sorry. I've lost the year. I think we all have.
All right, that's, yes. And we'll call for a motion for this.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Lally. Seconded by Mr. Valerius. Any comments or questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you all very much. Now we come to council comments. And this evening, the first speaker will be Mr. Valerius.
First off, I'd like to thank everyone for showing up tonight. I was absent from last council meeting, so I missed out on the opportunity to join everyone up here, and I missed my fellow council members, and I appreciate being back. Just a kind of a word of note, remember Halloween is this Sunday, so it's kind of nice to, I guess, get back to some sort of normalcy regarding Halloween, but let's also pay attention and keep mindful of being safe. You know, with things being so different in the years past, you know, I guess my expectation is that there'll be a lot of trick-or-treaters and a lot of kids out there. So just remain vigilant and safe in travels that evening, as well as promoting the activities with the Elks and the Pumpkin Patch and everything else. I wanted to thank him again. 33 years is a long time to be doing what he does, and it just is such a great event for Allen Park and for the citizens of Allen Park. So I appreciate that. Just wanted also to, I know they're not here because they got their awards and they all took off, but the Beautification Commission and all those residents, you know, it's nice to see so many people who dedicate their time and energy to maintaining their homes and their property, you know, and being a model for their community. So I wanted to thank them for all that, and also the Beautification Commission members and everything for their time and efforts, and kind of taking a commission that was pretty much non-existent or dead and bringing it back to life. So nice to see that coming about as well. for the residents that came up, Mr. Hayes, I appreciate your time, your concerns about your friend in the street, and everyone who had comments and everything else. I wanted to also just thank my fellow council members for everything that you do on a daily basis. I know me and Mr. Lloyd share our time in school and as teachers. School year's moving right along. Homecoming activities and everything else are behind us, and it's amazing to think that we're already moving into November. So the year is flying by, so which is a good thing. Of course, this is my time of year. Of course,
Yeah.
It's nice to see it getting cold again, and hopefully snow is
Right around the corner.
So, all right, and with that, I yield my time. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Schlack.
I just want to start off by saying thank you to all the citizens that came, especially to the heads and department heads and the commissions, to thank you for the Beautification Commission that presented awards and everything they've done, and members of the Historical Commission that are also present. And a special thanks to those that won awards to be an inspiration to the rest of us to make sure that our houses are in tip-top shape. I want to wish everyone a very happy Halloween. It'd be fun, safe, and full of ghouls and goblins and all that's fun. I definitely do not want to be a recipient of tricks, so I'll definitely give treats. Remember to vote this Tuesday. I'll give that to our clerk. That will tell you more details if you live in the Allen Park School District. And best of luck to all the candidates in neighboring communities that are around us that are up in all sorts of positions. And finally, for those who watch college football, let's enjoy a good spirited game between MSU and U of M, with, of course, the victor being MSU, I hope, against our city manager's expectations. And with that, I yield my time. Thank you.
Mr. Blevins.
Well, first off, talking about football, I want to say congrats to our Jags going to playoffs, and can't hope they do well this Friday. The homecoming parade, great job to all the students, and the floats, the marching band, and just everything to bring back to life of what it used to a few years ago and all that stuff. So great job to all the students out there. Also, another great job to our farmers market. This Friday is the last day for that. A good season. And then also, if you haven't gotten it, the Allen Park Today magazine's out with the cover with our tire. Something maybe just for notes for our next magazine, maybe try to get an article or something on the street fair, of how successful it was. With Halloween coming up, please make sure that you be safe, and if you're driving anywhere, again, with the trick-or-treaters, just look before driving, crossing. October is also National Bully Prevention Month. Just to maybe always be the top dog, and be respectful to everyone. We need to always make sure to teach the next generation that bullying is not right, and just be respectful always, and then always stay positive. And with that, I yield my comments. Thank you.
Thank you, Charles. Mr. Lally.
Thank you very much for coming tonight. It's nice to see people show up at the council meetings. A lot of council meetings, we had about 2, 3, or 4. I'm glad that students are back. And congratulations to Allen Park and Cabrini for their football and homecoming and everything else. I want to thank Mark for doing an excellent job for 33 years in a pumpkin bed. I can't believe it was 33 years already. Doing a good job. Be safe during the holidays. And I want to thank the Beautification Commission that came back alive. I used to have one, but they came back alive, and it's nice to see people in the neighborhood, as Councilman Valerio said, that be good for the city in Allen Park. Let the neighbors know, hey, let's take care of our cities. That's where we live, and that's where we work and play. It's very nice that you see this. Hope more people show up next year. They have more stuff to give out. And I want to wish my wife 50th anniversary that I've been married to this lovely lady. She put up with me for 50 years. I can't believe it.
Saint.
God bless her. And I yield my time to my Councilman Dan.
Thank you, sir. We had a snow day in October last year, didn't we? Yeah, so maybe, fingers crossed, who knows? For you guys too. I think, first off, I want to thank Mr. Hayes for coming up and speaking to council. I think that's a great lesson for our students here. That is what city government is all about. It's kind of unique in the sense that it is you definitely, and I encourage you to advocate to your Congress people in Lansing and in Washington D.C. But it is the seat of government is by nature displaced from the people. The amazing thing about city government is if you have a problem within your city, bi-weekly, second and fourth Tuesday, you come up here, you got a problem, you tell us about it, and we can work to address it. I will say on that note that I know that our Director of Department of Public Works, Mr. Murray and Mr. Kibbe, they have driven these streets time and time again. We do our street sectioning every single year, and when it becomes around that time, they put a lot of effort into essentially going by and triaging these streets and seeing where is it that we can get the best bang for our buck, the most use out of our dollars to improve these streets. I'm positive that 15241 Paris will be on that list to go and check out for next year, to go see it. But I have absolute faith in Mr. Murray and Mr. Kibbe's ability to kind of assess that and this is the important part, making sure that our citizens are getting the most out of their tax dollars, the most that's going to make this a good community. But I do very much appreciate Mr. Hayes coming up here and advocating to council. With that, I yield as well.
Thank you, Dan. Mike?
I just want to, remind everybody that next Tuesday, November 2nd, there will be the special school election, and we have consolidated all the precincts into the community center. So come next year, if you usually don't vote there, you're going to be going back to your regular precincts. But for this November, the small ones, we put them all at the community center. If you're not able to vote on Tuesday, there is still time to get an absentee ballot. We're open Monday through Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. We're open Saturday the 30th from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. and Sunday the 31st from 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. So we've got a lot of fail-safes there. You really can't make it on Tuesday. Other than that, I'd like to thank everybody for coming out. God bless you and good night.
Thank you, Mike, very much. As usual, there's nothing left for me to say. That football game on Friday is at Allen Park, and they are playing Riverview, and that game starts at 7 o'clock. And so I encourage everyone to attend and support the Jags. Again, mentioning the Elks Pumpkin Patch, a very worthwhile event, and if you live anywhere in proximity, I get the added benefit of hearing some of the entertainment as I'm handing out candy. So I encourage participating in that. Again, do appreciate the public comments, and I can only second what Dan has said, is that I know that when things are brought to the attention of our DPS department, they get on it and then it's handled. And so that is always when I receive inquiries from residents, the first thing I do is direct it to the appropriate department, because they are the ones that do the work and do the job. And I know they are responsible about it, and they take a great deal of pride in doing that. Other than that, very happy to see all the individuals in attendance. Very pleased at what's being done by the Beautification Commission. Just briefly, that commission was done away with for God only knows why, when the emergency manager was here, since none of these commissions are of any cost to the city. But one of the things I had on my agenda was to reinstitute that commission, and we did that this year, and they have been very busy in their activity, and I'm very pleased to see what they've done as far as recognizing our homeowners. I know as I have driven through other communities, including sections of Detroit, I have seen similar signs out, and I think it does a great deal for not only that community, but the entire neighborhood. And I hope everyone takes a lesson from that page. And with that, I wish you all a good evening. Be safe on October 31st. Watch out for the little ones. Don't need to have any accidents occurring here. And with that, I will take a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Lally.
Second.
Second by everyone. Mr. Lloyd, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. We are adjourned at 6:51.